Plot twist.
Jesus just comes back and
He's just been
him.
chilling in a cave somewhere for 2,000 years. And he's like, finally, Jesus is coming back.
And he just like heart attack.
Hey, dude, I got bad news for you, buddy.
2, 3, 4.
What's up, everybody? It is the STUMIN podcast. I am Greg, and this is Danny.
Hi.
You look like you were going to say something, and then you just didn't.
The STUMIN podcast, formerly known as the Stupid Podcast. Shout out to.
It's funny how when Riley's not here, it's not the Stupid Podcast anymore.
Yeah.
Coincidence? I think not.
It's crazy.
Today we're going to talk about pet peeves, because I just noticed that like everybody has these random things that annoy them that like not everybody else gets or understands.
Sure.
And so I mean, like, one of them I think is super obvious for me is like people who just think it's not a big deal to be around you when they have a cold. Like, that just drives me crazy.
I could probably guess that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's like a huge like shocker to anybody. But Danny, like, what are some things that you would say are like pet peeves of yours that you've noticed?
I think like I have a lot of driving ones. Like a lot of driving.
If you haven't started driving yet, like, get ready. A whole new world of being annoyed is about to open up to you.
Like, my pet peeves: when you're driving too slow in the left lane, when you're driving too fast in the right lane, when tailgating's annoying.
Danny's like, if you're behind the wheel of a vehicle, you are annoying me.
Driving like way under the speed limit for no reason.
Dude, 967, a road here in Buda that's 50 miles per hour. People are just like, does that mean go 20 miles per hour?
Or a new one I've unlocked is when like I drive through a school zone to get to the church, and I've noticed like a decent amount of times there'll be someone driving like the school zone speed limit,
dude,
when it's not school zone time.
All the time.
Like 6 a.m.
It's so obvious too. It's like when lights are flashing, and then there's these massive lights above and below the speed limit sign, and yet people are just like, oh no, I gotta go 25 miles per hour.
Or when it's
at 9:30 at night.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Or when it's raining, like just a little bit, like just a little drizzle, like great visibility. Yeah. The road's not slippery at all, but now we're driving like 15 miles an hour under the speed limit because water is scary.
Or like somebody who like is like insistent on getting past you, and as soon as they do, they start going slower than you were going. Like, why do we do this stuff?
Man. Or when it's like pouring rain and like really slippery and low visibility, and people are like slamming on the brakes or driving too fast. See, if you're driving too slow when there's like almost no rain, or if you're driving too fast when there's a lot of rain, straight to jail. Straight to jail.
That's the segment.
That's how I feel.
Things, if we had power, would send you to jail for. I feel like getting married. Like, you just find out. Yeah, that's a pet peeve of mine.
Hate it when people do that.
I just feel like I don't even know that I have a lot that like Mallory does. I've just found out a lot of hers just because of proximity. Like, if I eat a bowl of cereal in the same county that she's in. It's just like, she's just like, do you have to chew so loud? And I'm just like, I mean, it's called Captain Crunch. I don't know what's
in the name. Wow.
I do hate listening to people chew though. Like, it's tough. It's tough. Like, especially when you're like confined in a vehicle. Oh yeah. Mallory's already turning this episode off just when you did that. Like, we had our first dog was a miniature schnauzer, and you get a dog and you're like, oh, we'll get the dog a bone. And then like, he would just for hours straight. And I was just like, I can't, I'm going to murder the dog. I don't want to murder the dog. I don't think you should murder dogs. Cats,
don't do that.
Fair game.
Yeah.
But
Open
dogs,
season.
Yeah. And
they don't even have a hunting season for cats because it's all fair game.
Children have the ability to like, whatever like tone they find is just the right one to like make behind your eye twitch. I don't know how kids are so good at that. That's a huge pet peeve of mine for sure. Speaking of children, like, Another pet peeve of mine is adults who think that I'm just cool with whatever their kid is doing around me just because I have kids. That's one you might run into. I'm like, I love my kids, but like, I don't want to put up with your kid. People are constantly shocked at like how uncomfortable I am around small children because I have kids. And I'm like, yeah, I love kids. And like, I believe just kids are great. And like, I'm glad our church is full of like kids, but like, I don't want them like wiping their boogers on me and you just being like, you have kids, you get it. I'm like, no, I don't even let my own kids
right?
Yeah. Just like, it's like they're like in my pocket taking my money and I'm like, what are you doing? And they're like, you're a parent, you've been there. I'm like, no, control your
just
child.
Committing theft.
And they're like, kids, right?
They're like, hop in your car and start driving away. It's like,
They're like setting fire to your sofa. And they're just like, you've been there. And I'm just like, listen, there's not this club that just because we're parents means I have to like let your kid walk all over me because I've been there, right? Like, sure, like you have a better understanding when you're a parent. Like you maybe a little more grace when things are hard, but that's a big one for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to think of like non-driving related pet peeves because I feel like
Danny's like, it's all driving.
It's all driving.
I am like completely chill until I get in my vehicle.
As soon as I'm in the vehicle. Nah.
It is true though that like I internalize a lot of frustration just because like I feel like in general I get frustrated too easily. It's something like I know about myself. But like I can control it in most circumstances. But if I'm in my car, like I don't know what
Fair
it is.
game.
Like you just feel like you're like in your own bubble and like the world doesn't exist, so you can just act however you want. But like my blood just boils. Man, I don't know.
Yeah, and
driving's a good one.
And driving through like downtown Houston or downtown Dallas very often, or downtown Austin, but driving in downtown Houston, like I have a playlist that I use just for when I hit like I-45 because driving on I-45 at certain times of day,
it's like all classical music that's like calming and
it's fast-paced music. It's like because like everyone's driving.
It's like Jason Reeves playlist. Just
because it's just like the speed limit is irrelevant. Like everyone's driving 85 miles an hour, so you have to like you have to get up to that level or you're just gonna get run off the road in Houston. Yes. The worst, driving in Houston at like 1 a.m. is a crazy experience. Like through downtown on I-45.
Yeah, what is it about like it gets past 11 o'clock at night in big cities and people think it's just the Autobahn at that point.
It's crazy.
Like, there's no rules.
And there's still like, it's downtown Houston. There's a decent amount of traffic at that time, but they're all flying like, I'm serious, like minimum 85.
Yeah.
And so like, you just have to go or else you're just going to get got, you know?
Yes. I argue like the people who are just like going 10 under the speed limit pose a bigger threat than the people speeding.
You just have,
like,
you have to match the flow of traffic
like
on some level.
It's scary, but for sure.
One of my non driving related pet peeves is mic technique. So microphone, like when I say mic technique, it's like how you position and like how far away from you the microphone is.
Yes.
And because I work in like a lot of audio stuff, mic technique has become a pet peeve of mine, especially with like speakers. So like if you don't know, the rule of thumb that I usually go by is like if you're holding a microphone, it should be about a thumb's length away from your chin. Roughly, like that should be your baseline. If you speak loud, if you're a loud person, you know who you are, then you can kind of go a little bit further away. But otherwise, like thumb's length away from your chin is great, and like facing you.
So what bothers you more, someone too far away or someone who's like making out with the microphone? Which one?
Too far away.
Okay.
Because like honestly, you don't even run to people who are doing the like making out with the microphone. You don't run into that much.
Yeah.
But run into people often. Yeah. So I actually have a quick story on that. So I was running sound for like a big kind of college ministry worship night. It was like a missions kind of focus event. And so after the band's done rehearsing and we're done with all that, the speaker comes up and I kind of make sure that we get everything sorted. So I ask him like if he wants a headset or if he wants a handheld microphone or whatever. He asked if he could put a microphone like on a mic stand.
Oh, dude, like you just reminded my microphone pet peeve is like when I help someone in the high school room that's going to use it and like I know they're gonna have like 80 people in there, and they refuse to use a microphone, and I'm just like, but also you need a microphone.
Yeah.
Like, stop.
Yeah. But yeah, so the guy who's the speaker, he asked for like a microphone and mic stand. I'm like, great. And he asked me a fantastic question. Love this question. He says, hey, how should I position the microphone? Like, how far should it be from me? How should it face? Love the question. And so I explained to him, I told him the same thing, thumbs length away, like make sure it's facing you directly. It's like, okay. So, we set the microphone and mic stand off to the side because there's a band playing and everything, like a pretty long worship set. And so worship set's over and the bumper's kind of rolling. He's walking up to the podium or whatever. He like places the mic stand down and arranges it like this. And the microphone's right here. And then he points it like that. And
he's like, it's a thumbs length away.
It's like this far away and pointed like this.
Oh man.
Which was a nightmare because like the best case, like when you're running sound for like a speaker or a sermon or something like that, like I love when I can just kind of, you set your level and you can just kind of lay back and chill. Like you can go to the restroom at that point and kind of hang out and listen and all that. But when he did that, immediately I was like, it's going to be a long, like it was like I think it was like an hour long message too. So I'm like, it's going to be a long time. Yeah. And like the entire time, like the mic is here. He's not a very loud person. Like I've had a guy who I worked with for a while in the past who like, he can talk with the microphone like down here but he's such a loud human being that it's like totally fine. But like, no, it's not the case with this guy.
Yeah.
So like when he was talking, like the entire time, like I'm going to try to recreate it with this microphone right now. So he's going to be talking and he's going to turn to this side of the room and it's going to be nice and loud. And then after that, he's going to turn and talk to this side of the room and you're just not going to hear a thing. And then he's going to turn and talk to this side of the room. And I'm not changing the volume of my voice right now. That's just the microphone.
I just feel like the choices people make when they have options with microphones is always the wrong one. Yeah. Like the high school room is not big enough that like it's impossible to not use one, but it's always the person that's like, they don't have the voice for it. Mm-hmm. And like, I mean, I could lead youth on Wednesday nights without a microphone technically, but my voice would suffer.
Yeah, it would hurt
and it wouldn't be wise. Or like in that scenario, like you had like a headset mic.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to move around a lot, but like it's always the hand talker that uses the handheld mic. Like, no, I just want the handheld. And then they're like waving around like a wand and you're just like, yeah, that's doing nothing right now.
Yeah. So like that entire message, I'm just sitting there on the fader. It's the thing that controls the volume. And I'm just like writing it all the way up when he turns away and writing it down when he turns back to the mic. And it's just, boils my blood.
Oh man. A big one for me is when you're in public walking and like people just instantly stop and turn around.
Dude,
it's so annoying.
No. I was at HEB, like the Kyle HEB, and it's just crazy. And because it's so crowded, it's like the most crowded shopping experience. And like, they're doing some renovations, so things are moving around, so it gets even more hectic. And it feels like driving. It feels like driving now, like go walking through. Like I'm going to merge into a line of people that are walking through the aisle, and then I'm going to go and take this exit. So it feels like I'm driving through the highway, like downtown highways. So I legit like almost hit several people with my shopping cart yesterday. Going grocery shopping because like somebody just randomly stopped and I'm like hitting the brakes and like swerving out of the lane because I'm like legit about to hit. And I'm not like, I'm not like tailgating somebody. Like I'm not moving that fast.
I think we can expand this one to just lack of self-awareness drives me crazy. Like when people just don't realize that there are other people in existence.
Yeah.
Like for instance, so many students over the year, I won't call out names, you know who you are.
You know who you are.
Anytime there's a chance to line up for anything, food, whatever, it's just like, I should be first. And I'm just like, bro. And I say bro because it's always dudes. Like
what you do then is you say, well, Jesus said the first will be last. And then you just take all of the pizza and just walk to the back of the line and start handing it to the people in the back.
Dude, we always do girls first when we eat, always. Like, and I always will. I don't care how old school that makes me.
Totally.
Like, we're always at Hayes Hill students going to do girls first when we line up for meals or whatever. And like, I have had some dudes over the years that legitimately have beef with me over it. Like, and I'm like, this is where the hill you're gonna die on is like, you're more important than the girls are. Like,
we're all equal. I should be able to eat my food first.
My favorite was like a middle schooler who had just moved up into middle school and had been through a few events raised his hand like 2 or 3 times into experience this when he said, I was just curious at what point the guys get to go first. And I said, never. And his face was just like I was so unjustly and unfairly, like this was persecution in his mind. He just couldn't handle it. Like I've had students that are just like, if I do this or this, can I go in front of the girls? And I'm like, it's like, there's nothing you could do to earn your place. That's not why we do this.
Wow. That's fascinating.
Oh man, it's good. It's good stuff. Yeah. Good stuff.
I will say another pet peeve of mine. This one's like dumb, but like, I don't know why it's an eye roll for me. But using the name Jehovah for God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I know we've talked about this.
We have talked about that one.
Because, so fun fact, like historical little thing here, you know, the name Jehovah, the way we got it is you have the divine name of God from the book of Exodus and really used throughout the Old Testament. That's Yahweh. Every time you see capital Lord, like that's what that is in the Hebrew. But the thing was, the Jews, the last guy who like actually knew how the name was pronounced died probably like several hundred years before Jesus, you know? So like, we really don't know exactly how it's pronounced because the way Hebrew works, like you just have consonants, you don't have the vowels. So the Jews kind of became afraid of mispronouncing the name Yahweh because they were afraid that was taking the Lord's name in vain. And so what they started to do was just refer to him as Adonai, which is Lord. And so then what they would do, eventually they started adding where you can like mark vowels in the writing. So they would take Yahweh, and then when they would write it, they would write out the vowels underneath it for Adonai. So that way, when you're reading it in Hebrew, you read Yahweh, but you're reminded you're supposed to say Adonai. Mm-hmm. And so when you combine the consonants of Yahweh with the vowels of Adonai, you get Yahovah. And then some dude, I don't know who, but somebody looked at that and they're like, Jehovah. It's Jehovah.
It was like a white dude in Arkansas. That's what it sounds like. Does that say Jehovah?
So every time we say Jehovah, it's a bit of an eye roll for me sometimes. It's a little nerdy, probably like, a little elitist, but
yeah, I mean, like I don't think you're sinning if you've used the word Jehovah, but no, you are a bit off base.
But like it's the only name that you get when you put together a couple of things that people are trying to use to not mispronounce God's name.
Very similarly, I hate when people mispronounce my name.
Wait,
I don't think my name should be hard to pronounce. Like it's
really not
my argument. Like if you have a weird name and people mispronounce it, like that's on your parents. Like don't blame the person. Like it's like there are names that are not easy.
If your name is Melchizedek,
or like if your name is just has 2 ways to pronounce it and somebody uses it wrong, like. I don't think you should get annoyed by that. Like you just got to realize reality is what it is. But like Greg is not that. But so many people say Greg.
Oh, isn't that
my name is not Greg.
Isn't that just how you say it in the Midwest? Isn't that just an accent thing?
Maybe.
Great.
But I don't know why. It's funny too, because like it just started bothering me. It's like one of my old curmudgeon-y things, I guess, as I get older, because it didn't bother me
turned
until
40
recently.
And then immediately.
Okay, full disclosure, it really started bothering me when like I heard one of my kids pronounce it that way, and I was like, you don't even know how to pronounce my name correctly. What is happening right now, Greg? I shouldn't have said this. Everybody's gonna start calling me Greg now, but
oh no, I didn't think about that.
I just won't respond. I just need to train myself to not respond if you put the Midwest accent on the dude. When we move, this is another pet peeve of mine, is people nitpicking the smallest little inflections in an accent, which is totally hypocritical based on what I just said about my name.
So basically your pet peeve is also a pet peeve of yours.
I'm stuck. There's no winning.
It's a loop. A pet peeve loop.
I'm annoyed with you for pronouncing my name wrong, but I'm annoyed with me for caring. But like when I moved here, I had to retrain myself on how to say the word both.
Oh,
because I'm from Illinois, Northern Illinois, and so both. And like we could not.
Oh, I definitely would make fun of that,
dude. We couldn't get through youth group. I'm not even kidding. Like
you're like preaching.
Yes, like 2 or 3 times a message. It was like saying 6-7, and like everybody erupts and
I don't even know what that means.
It means nothing. That's what it means.
Gen Alpha. What do you guys? At least our slang had a meaning to it.
Yeah, and a lot of times it was wildly inappropriate, but it had a meaning.
But at least it had a meaning.
I don't know if that's better.
6-7 means nothing.
Like it is definitely an intellectual step backwards that you're obsessed with.
Whatever you want it
meaningless. It's rhetoric, not even rhetoric,
and it's not even that fun to say.
No, it's not, and it's just from a dumb rap song.
Gen Alpha, you guys
get it together. Yeah. That's all I have to say. Well, I don't even know what I was talking about. Both and both. Like it was so like if you went into the middle school room like I did on Sunday morning, and like the unfortunate thing about the 6-7 thing. Is a lot of our Sunday evening things are from 6 to 7. No. So I was telling them we were having small group night and then we were going to have prayer night. And I was like, prayer night's from 6 to 7. And they were like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. And like, it was that much of a distraction during like Wednesday night lesson time when I would say the word both instead of both. And like just eruption, distraction. And I'm like, y'all, can we like get it together? We're studying the Bible right now. If you want to heckle me about this, there's a time and a place. Yeah, and this is not
I would still heckle you, but afterwards,
like you wouldn't interrupt the lesson.
I would do it afterwards. Yeah.
The closest that you come, were you a part of the genesis of this, or was this all Riley's fault? The prosperity gospel. Slap the knee. Was that before your time that started?
I think it was not long before me. Because
so
when I came, it was like pretty fresh.
If I say the words prosperity gospel, everybody slaps their knee. And like, it was impressive that this started because like one day I just said it and realized everybody in the room slapped their knee. I wasn't a part of it at all. Like I was just
just happened.
What just happened? and it still does, which is, hey, at least I know y'all are paying attention. But yeah, definitely the pronunciation of words. There's mispronouncing words, and then there's just like we all have different accents.
That's true.
And like the both thing. Here's my argument. Here's where I land, because like the Southerner argument, and like I think Southerners win in a lot of arguments which is funny because. When you live up north, like the assumption, the general, never spoken, sometimes spoken, is that like Southerners are like less intelligent. Like that's the going like mindset up north. But and like it's because like we all think of just like the like hillbilly accent.
I mean, I had somebody ask me if we ride horses to like school.
Dude, when we moved down here, one of the first questions I got when I talked to someone back home was how many people we saw riding horses down the road. I was like, okay. Anyways, I don't think I was just like, you realize we live in a much larger area than you do. Like this is not like. We're kind of in the country almost, but we're like right outside of Austin, Texas. But so the pronunciation of both and both. The Southerner,
like reach deep to get the both back out.
Yeah, I've trained it out of myself. But like the Southerner argument is that you're putting an L in the word when you say both.
Yeah.
But saying both, you're putting a W in the word. Like if English worked that way, the word would be both.
Checkmate.
And so if like English never works that way anyways.
'Cause I guess that's like goth. If you replace with a G, it's goth. So
exactly. Yeah. So English. There you go. Like I think Southerners are absolutely correct about y'all. Like we say you all.
Yeah.
And like it's just like why work that hard?
Yeah.
It's kind of like Kevin on The Office. Like why say much words when few words will do. Anyways, pet peeves. If y'all got pet peeves, drop them in the comments. Would love to know yours. you know what would be fun is if y'all, you can put it in the Q&A box. You can drop it in the comments, throw in your pet peeves, and maybe we'll spend an episode just like dissecting whether or not your pet peeves are ridiculous or not.
Whether or not you're crazy or the world around you
We will justify you or we will shame you on the podcast. That sounds like a lot of fun. I'm not going to lie.
We'll do a psychiatric evaluation of everybody by their pet peeves.
So the question we got for today, Danny, I think is a fun one.
Sure.
And for some reason they said they wrote down, not again, they wrote down that it was only for you. And so I guess I can just leave after I tell you the question. I don't know why.
Okay, see.
I don't know why it's only for you, but apparently.
This is the Danny hour.
Yeah. Yeah, they just only care about what you think about this. And it's a really random question that I think we can have fun with and also give some pretty serious weight to. But it's this. If you had the choice to live until Jesus returns, no matter how long it takes, or just live the life that you're going to have and go to heaven until Jesus returns, which one would you choose? Really out of left field today.
I mean, I would just take me now. Like I would go be with Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the logical answer. I think what gets in the way of that though is like, there are a lot of things in like the human experience on earth that like, that you want to be a part of, right? Like I want to see my kids grow up. I'm sure you want to experience having kids.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, there's definitely,
I have questions though on like the stipulations around the arrangement.
I think that's fair.
Like, am I going to?
It's a really general question
on like a normal curve, or do I stop aging at a certain point and I can just hang out? Because if I can, like, there's some factors there, you know.
Yeah. I mean, the way things have progressed year after year, just up to 40, like I would need to stop now. Like,
before you cross the line of no return.
And then live like, I mean, it could be thousands of years.
So fun fact, the Mormon Church actually believes that the Apostle John still hasn't died.
How many of you had Danny bringing up the Mormon Church on your bingo card for this question?
They actually, like, that's an official belief that the Apostle John like never died. So they take from the Gospel of John. Where like Jesus says that he's not going to taste death until he sees the Son of Man coming in glory and stuff like that. But then apparently what happened was Joseph Smith.
So when the Son of Man comes in glory, he does taste it.
He dies. It's over.
He's like, sorry, I just said until this happens. Plot twist.
Jesus just comes back.
He's just been chilling in a cave somewhere for 2,000 years. And he's like, finally, Jesus is coming back.
And he just like heart attack.
I got bad news for you, buddy.
No.
He's like, what was the point?
Yeah, because like Joseph Smith wrote in the Doctrine and Covenants, which is like, so the Book of Mormon isn't the only scripture they have. They also have the Doctrines and Covenants. It's just a bunch of stuff that Joseph Smith kind of.
He's using the word scripture very loosely.
It's what they refer to as scripture. And Joseph Smith said he got a revelation that John, like the Apostle John, actually also asked Jesus not to die. And I read it the other day, and it was actually pretty funny when you read it, because it's like Peter asked Jesus, like, hey, I want to go be in your kingdom when I die. And Jesus is like, that's awesome. And then John's like, you know what? I'd rather stay here on earth and win more souls. And Jesus was like, you know what, John? That's even better. Good job, John. Peter, that's a dumb request. Because John at least wants to stay here.
I love the paraphrase of Mormon scripture.
It's great. And so, I mean, just imagine all that just in like King James language. But
thou art idiotic.
So yeah, they believe that John's been kicking around still.
So where is he?
We have no clue.
Does he like? Is it like reincarnate? Like he takes on different?
No, like
just chilling.
No, he's just hanging out somewhere.
He's just alone somewhere.
Like he's just like hanging out like in a cave.
He's like, I want to stay here and win more souls for you, but absolutely no one will know that I'm here.
Yeah,
like, how does that work?
Because I mean, if you have like a 2,000-year-old human being, that would be pretty
insane.
Yeah, like just walk around and be like, yeah, I was there when like I was hanging out with Martin Luther when he was nailing the 95 theses on the door, you know, like we were hanging out. We go back.
Or was he Luther? That was
Martin Luther was actually John.
He just took on the persona so
Just
people wouldn't be
started speaking-
confused.
Just picked up German.
He's like, I'm going to take care of this.
We've gone far enough.
He didn't have to pick up German. He spoke in the tongue of German. It was the Holy Spirit.
Or what if John was actually still stuck on the island of Patmos? Because he was stranded on an island by the end of, like, when he
He's
wrote
like, if
Revelation.
only I had some super glue, I could put this boat back together and get off this.
And he's just like hanging out with a volleyball named Wilson.
The movie Castaway
It's actually about the apostle.
The FedEx plane that crashed was allegory and was actually the gospel
John
that he was
was-
trying to deliver. And at the end, he gets to deliver.
There you have it, folks.
That's it. That's it for today, guys.
We solved it. But
I know I'm not supposed to answer this question because I'm not Danny.
Oh, yeah.
I think that we glorify the idea of like never dying and this life never ending. But in reality, like the life we live, we're so often like, when does suffering end?
Yeah.
And so like, it's just foolish to think that that's somehow a better path than entering into eternity once this life ends. And like, I don't wish for this life to end right away. Like,
Sure.
I totally feel Paul's heart.
Yeah.
Is to say like to die is Christ, but
to die is gain.
to live is Christ, but to die is
Yeah,
gain.
yeah.
But the heart behind that, I think, should be the heartbeat of the believer, that like, I don't fear death. Death is reuniting with the Lord in eternity, and that's awesome. And I think the hope that we look forward to, as Scripture says. But like, there are things that like I hope I get to experience. Like, I have young kids and I want to watch them grow up and be at their graduations and weddings, and it's okay to desire that too. But like, if you're going to tell me I get to choose, and like, we don't know when Jesus is coming back, but let's say it's far beyond my lifetime.
Sure.
Like, then I'm signing myself up to watch everyone I care about die. And like, that's hard. I'm like kind of joking, but like also it's not a joke at all. Like, if you live long enough, everyone you know is going to die. And like, you're going to get close to new people. And then and like, I think that there's something beautiful just about life and the way that even as life ends, we have hope in it. And like that, all of that has a good purpose, even when it doesn't make sense. And so like, to thwart that path, I don't think there's a lot of gain there. To use Paul's word, like, when he says to die is gain, he's painting a picture. Like, we have a great hope to look forward to even in death.
Yeah. And I think, we also think about in terms of like the purpose of what we're doing here on earth, because we have a purpose, we have a mission. As we're here as believers, we're called to live out the Great Commission, to multiply, to make disciples, and to expand God's kingdom here on earth. Like, that's the method that God chose to like make known.
Yeah.
And so like, that's where, looking at, as much as we laugh at the story of John, it's a commendable desire to be like, Lord, I want to still be here to win more souls. And I look at, I think of some of the older believers, our brothers and sisters here at our church, who are like, you know what, like, as long as I'm here, as long as I'm still kicking, like, I'm going to keep talking about Jesus to people, and I'm going to keep bringing the gospel because I have a mission.
And that mindset, when the Lord has given you more days, is a really good and awesome one.
Very much.
But the mindset of, Lord, you need to leave me here because I need to win more souls, it's really a prideful mindset too, to say like, God, you need me here, so don't take me there.
And I think there's a humble way to pray that, in terms of like, I want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
If you will, for me to live an extra year so I can win an extra soul, I want to be a part of it. But yeah, for sure, I can see that side of it of like, God, I want to be your weapon and do these things. So if the desire behind it is my own glory and my own accomplishment,
or even just the idea that like, other people aren't doing this as good as I am, so you need to leave me here to do it, kind of thing.
So at the end of the day, the Lord's not served by us as though he needed anything.
I would argue too that like 0.0001% of people that would argue the Lord should give me unending days on earth, that their mindset is God's glory. Like, I think the human condition is like the reason we don't want to die has very little to do with our gospel mission and just more to do with I'm afraid of death, or I just want more days. I want to be able to experience these things.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's hard because like at the age that I'm at right now, like there are a lot of things that I hope I live long enough to be a part of.
Sure.
But I'm not promised that.
Yeah.
And I'm very comfortable with that reality, knowing that God is in control and he's got me, and that I do have a hope to look forward to. And so like, even in like the morning of the idea of missing out, I can know that like God has got a good plan, and that there's no, while I might mourn that in my human nature, I can trust and know that God is faithful to his promises. And that is a great hope. So, well, hey, what would you say to a person that would say like, oh, well, so-and-so has passed away and they're watching over me? Because like I feel like that's kind of attached to this too. Like, do you think people who die and go to heaven are like, they are aware of what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, the Bible, first of all, doesn't paint like the clearest picture for us about what happens immediately after we die, because the purpose, like the hope that we're looking for, is not this moment that happens right after we die. It's the resurrection. Yeah. And so like even Paul makes that clear, because especially like in those days, in that first century and in the days of the early church, a big kind of movement was Gnosticism that teaches that like all the physical stuff is bad and it's all about the spiritual stuff.
Yeah. And to prove how little I think culturally as believers we grasp about that or even understand what scripture says, is I think most people believe like you die and go to heaven and that's just where eternity exists. And like that's actually not what the Bible paints a picture of. Like there's a new earth after Christ.
I mean, the story
comes back, and
the story of the Bible isn't that we go to heaven. The story of the Bible is heaven comes to earth.
Absolutely.
And you know, if you look back to the Garden of Eden, it's this place where heaven touches earth. And then you look throughout the Bible, you see these pictures of Eden. When you see the tabernacle or the tent, it's the tabernacle or the temple, it's designed in a way that's supposed to create this heaven coming down to earth kind of feel. And all of that leads to Jesus himself and his work in tearing the curtain in the temple when he died and was crucified. And then now through the church, the Holy Spirit dwelling in us. But then in Revelation, the final moment is, behold, the dwelling place of God is with man. It's not the other way around, that we go up there to dwell with God. It's he comes down and establishes the new heavens and the new earth. Mm-hmm. So like, I think that's the important thing that we set first, is like, the hope isn't that we're going to be a bunch of, you know, little babies with wings playing harps up in the clouds. But the hope is that God is going to.
That's not what I was hoping for.
I mean, it doesn't even sound that great, and no. I'm a musician.
Yeah, in that case, just leave me here till Jesus.
But the hope is that God comes down here, renews all of this, and takes out all the bad stuff from the earth that we live in here and now, and then he comes and lives with us forever. And we're resurrected in a new body. We have new bodily experience. That means we get to like taste food before the fall, which sounds awesome. I love food. And so like we get to enjoy that.
So like the idea that your favorite thing that you eat now could be
fantastic.
Better.
Yeah.
Like that's,
I mean, a mentor of mine, he has this like theory that there's not going to be any more death in the new heavens and the new earth. And so therefore, like,
we're going to eat like Scott.
We're going to eat broccoli. No. So his theory is because ribeyes are so good, because ribeyes are like the peak of God's culinary creation. That we're going to have trees with ribeyes growing on them. So you're just going to walk over to the ribeye tree, pluck it off. It'll already be medium rare because that's how God designed it.
Yes.
But in all seriousness, like that's the hope that we look forward to, is that resurrection. And so when Paul is kind of addressing these things, he says, hey, the goal isn't that we're just going to go off and be these spirits kind of floating around. The goal is we're going to have a resurrected new body, and we're going to get to experience this life in the way that God had intended from the beginning, from the garden, but now with Jesus and that relationship restored and no more sin, which sounds awesome. Like, sign me up. But here and now, the Bible, like what happens if I kick the bucket tomorrow? What happens between now and the resurrection, we don't fully know what that experience is like. On some level, we go to be with the Lord. I mean, the Bible uses some language to describe it like sleeping. So whether we're consciously aware of things or not, we don't really know. I mean, I even the nerdy part of me thinks like time flows relatively for us, right? Like in different places, you can look at Einstein stuff, whatever. And so it might even be that when we die, it's like the blink of an eye and then all of a sudden the resurrection happens. It might be that. It might be that we're in this kind of peaceful state where we're just at rest with the Lord. The Bible uses that kind of language to describe it. Or we might have some form of conscious awareness. But then I think even we're still finite beings. So to say that when we're dead, we're going to be able to then hear everything, every prayer that everyone makes and that's part of my critique against the Catholic Church.
Yeah, definitely. And I think too, attached to the idea, because a lot of times you'd hear this in a comforting way, right? Like a loved one's passed away and say, oh, well, they're watching over you, they're with you. And my encouragement there would be I get why that's comforting and it seems almost cruel to push against that kind of language.
Sure.
But the reality is that the God of the universe loves you dearly and he is always with you and he is the great comforter. And that's really where you should look for peace and hope in difficult times, rather than hoping in an idea that could have some weight, but we literally have no understanding from God to back that up.
Yeah, my comfort wouldn't be that my loved one is watching me, because I don't know that would even be that much of a comfort to me when I think about it seriously, Yeah. That my loved one.
I think in our culture though, there's this unspoken and kind of spoken belief that someone who passes away can actually help you.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that goes back centuries, thousands of years.
Definitely.
Millennia.
Yeah. But it's not just an old mythology. People still kind of operate that way in the way that they speak to each other about death.
But it's the comfort for me, for a loved one who passes away to go and be with the Lord, is that they're at rest, they're not experiencing the pain and the suffering of sin, the pain and the struggles of being in a fallen, broken world. They're free from that pain now and they're at peace with the Lord. And that to me is the comfort. Yeah. And then the watching over part of it, my comfort is that the Lord watches over me because he can do something about my present circumstance, because he actually draws near. That's why Jesus calls the Holy Spirit the comforter, the advocate, the helper, who's going to come in here and walk through this life, take me by the hand and walk through it with me. Yeah. My loved one's not going to do that. And so for me, my comfort would be that my loved one is experiencing that peace though, and free from the pain and sorrow and destruction of sin.
Yeah. All right. So to answer the question that started it all, would you choose to live until Jesus came back, no matter how long it was?
Yeah. I'm going to take what Paul says in Philippians 1, because what he says is to live is Christ and to die is gain. And if I'm to remain in the body, that means fruitful living for me. So as long as I'm here, living as Christ, which is an incredibly hard thing to do. It sounds easy, but it's not. And so as long as I'm here, I'm going to pursue the mission that God has for me. But to die and be with the Lord is, Paul says in Philippians 1, it's far better. He says, I'm hard pressed between the two, because to depart and to be with Christ is far better. I want that every time. If what's sat on the table before me is, would you rather live in a sinful, fallen, broken world and experience those things? Or do you rather go and be with the Lord? My answer is to go and be with the Lord. Yeah. But then he says, to remain in the flesh is more necessary on your account. He sees, for me to live here and now, I can be fruitful and I can live this ministry out as long as the Lord wills. And at the end of the day, Lottie Moon had this quote that I am immortal until God's purpose for me here is finished. As long as I'm here, God has a purpose for me, and until that's done, I am immortal. Death has no power over me until God allows it to. Yeah. So all that to be said, I would love to be with the Lord here and now. I have a purpose that I'm called to live, and I'm here for a reason, so I ought to do that. If our purpose in life here and now is to just be with the Lord and know Jesus, my mentor has a saying that if that's our goal, is to just know God and to be with God, then when we baptize new believers, we should hold them down a little bit longer, because then they're going to go and be with God. Absolutely. And they're going to be perfect. Yep. But we have a purpose here until that happens.
Yeah.
And the last thing I'll say is, when Jesus returns, it's probably going to be pretty cool. Like for the believers that are there in that moment when like it opens up and Jesus comes riding down in the clouds with glory and the sky rolls back and the mountains are thrown in the sea. Like that's probably going to be a pretty cool moment. So part of me does envy like the believer that's going to see that happen. But we're going to rise from the dead bodily in resurrection, and we're going to be there with them when that happens.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be just as cool.
And I was asked not to answer the question. So
that's the
end.
You
won't get to hear my side of it. Well, that's it for today. We will catch y'all next week. Keep submitting those questions and let us know your pet peeves. We'd love to pick those apart on a later date. We will see you guys next time. Stay close to Jesus.
See ya.